Hello, everyone. This is Omar from the Third Rail. I hope the sound is good. Happy Sunday night, right? Growing my hair, as you can see. That's why I'm looking a bit ugly. Feeling great. I got a small show for you tonight. We're going to talk about the myth of anti-Semitism in the United States, how it has become a multi-billion-dollar industry. I mean, I don't have that. I didn't do a lot of research, but I know it is because when I looked at the numbers, remember last week, there is no anti-Semitism in the United States. There's about 111 assaults, and you don't know how those assaults happen. And we're going to talk about Patrick Ben David. He interviewed the leader of the patriot movement, the so-called white nationalist movement. I think the guy's name is Thomas. What? Let me see. His name is Thomas Basalia. He was on his podcast. The guy sounded smart, well grounded. I have a few bites from there. We don't want to watch the whole thing. If you want to watch it, it's good. You see how dumb Patrick Ben David is when it comes to the stuff. What I got out of the interview with the leader of the patriot movement, or the white nationalist movement, is he was saying something along the line that America is for Americans, and there are Americans and there are American citizens. The Americans are the people who were born here for centuries, for generations. And the American citizens like me who are immigrants who became citizens. I don't have no issue with that. Have no issue with that. If you want to be called an American and you're the best, I don't care. As long as I get job security and no bodily harm. If I feel safe in the United States, I have no problem with you being the leaders. He was right. I agree with them to a certain point that the overwhelming immigration in the United States is messing up the population pyramid, like the food pyramid. You don't want to poke the bear. If you're trying to overrun whites, it's not right. I mean, if you're trying to bring so many people in here to turn white people into a minority, I think it's fucking wrong, dangerous, and it might have a dangerous outcomes because nobody wants to be a minority in their own country. I'm from Yemen, Arabia. I'm sure that my country don't want to have people come from America, whites come in there and become the majority. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest. The only thing I have issue, I don't like racism. I think America can be a white majority Christian country. At the same time, it can have minority living with that majority and making this country more perfect and more harmony, instead of this idea, oh, we're going to overcome you. We're going to overcome these white people, by 2043, or I'll be dead by 2040, right? So the whole idea is, I don't like that. And the guy made it clear. He sounded sometimes normal, sometimes he didn't. And we're going to discuss the latest proposal by the Joe, what's his name? Our president, our president, Joe Biden, who's actually is the bathroom. You know how those people used to have somebody in the bathroom that used to clean up men's hands and get a tip? He is for the Israeli leadership. That's what he is. He's the bathroom men attendant. That's what Joe Biden is. Joe Biden is a fucking is a joke. He's a fucking joke. He's walking around. He has no power. And we have become the United States as a servant to a small country in the Middle East. Our policies, our politics, our reputation, everything is on the line. And he came out. We're going to start with Joe Biden. So I don't know what happened. He took a lot of medication probably over the weekend. He took a lot of medication. Probably said, "Oh, I have a plan. Let me come out and say it." And you know what? Israel has not reacted to it. They ignored it. Let's see what he has to say. This is Joe Biden about 3 days ago.
Negotiators of foreign policy and intelligence. Now to another issue.
He's trying to act like he has he has a say in what's going on in Israel, that he has a say what's going on in our politics toward Israel, how our weapons or money. He has no say. The United States is nothing but a bitch to Israel. The political movement or the political class is owned by AIPAC, man. They're all owned by AIPAC. Let's see what our Joe Biden had to say.
I want to give an update on my efforts to end the crisis in Gaza.
Yeah.
For the past several months, my negotiators of foreign policy and intelligence community and like have been relentlessly focused, not just on a ceasefire.
Hold on. He could not get any food into Gaza. We built a pier, a temporary port or pier. It cost us $330 million. All of a sudden, the ocean came and took it away. So we actually went. We could not force Egypt or Israel, who we give money every year to. We give about $4 billion to Israel and about $2 billion to Egypt as a bribe not to fight each other. And we could not force them to bring food for starving children. So the United States, the United States said, well, you know what? We're going to build a port and we're going to bring food through the ocean and we're going to do what we want to do. Then they built this fucking port. It cost us $330 million. I think the Israeli military sabotaged it or made it loose. The water came and took it away. Israel wants to starve the local population. And this idiot is complicit in that game that he's doing.
Ceasefire that would inevitably be fragile and temporary, but on a durable end of the war. That's been the focus, a durable end of this war.
Durable?
One that brings all the hostages home, ensures Israel's security, creates a better day after in Gaza without Hamas in power.
All right.
And sets the stage for a political settlement that provides a better future for Israelis and Palestinians alike.
What a lie.
Now, after intensive diplomacy carried out by my team, my many conversations with leaders of Israel, Qatar, and Egypt, and other Middle Eastern countries, Israel has offered a comprehensive new proposal.
Oh, so it's not yours.
It's a roadmap to an enduring ceasefire and the release of all hostages.
All right.
This proposal has been transmitted by Qatar to Hamas.
Okay.
Today, I want to lay out its terms for the American citizens and for the world. This new proposal has 3 phases. 3.
All right.
The first phase would last for 6 weeks.
Okay.
Here's what it would include: a full and complete ceasefire.
All right.
A withdrawal of Israeli forces from all populated areas of Gaza.
Bullshit.
Release of a number of hostages, including women, the elderly, the wounded, in exchange for release of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. There are American hostages who would be released at this stage, and we want them home. Additional, some remains of hostages who have been killed would be returned to their families, bringing some degree of closure.
He said there's American hostages. Many of the hostages were killed by Israeli bombings. So let's say if those hostages were American, do we have a say? Do we condemn Israel? I'm willing to bet you no American life has any value against Israel. Not me, forget about me. I have no value at all. I'm talking about any American. Remember Rachel, what's her name? Rachel, who got ran over by the bulldozer. No American has any value against Israel. Israel is like I don't know. I don't know how to say it, especially with the evangelists, the piece of shit evangelist. They're fucking us up, man. Israel has every sway in our politics. Remember when the kids were protesting in Colombia? Over 100 Jewish billionaires had a WhatsApp account, a WhatsApp group, and they forced the mayor of New York City, Eric Adam, to use a force against these kids. They were not breaking the law. He sent 1,000 police officers into and then he started showing us how they had chains, bicycle chains. Oh, there was some foreign actors in there. We never heard their names. So the whole idea, our foreign policy, the United States is overwhelmed by Zionist uh, agenda and bias against anything that is Palestinian or Arab. So Joe Biden is nothing but a puppet. You know, the puppet, you put that thing in his ass and he just talks. That's all he is. And I hope he loses the election. And I hope Trump loses the election.
To that terrible grief. Palestinians, civilians would return to their homes and neighborhoods in all areas
What
of
homes?
Gaza,
What homes? What homes?
including in the north. Humanitarian assistance would surge, with 600 trucks carrying aid into Gaza every single day. With the ceasefire, that aid could be safely and effectively distributed to all who need it. Hundreds of thousands of temporary shelters, including housing units, would be delivered by the international community.
I don't even think he knows that 80% of Gaza has been destroyed. You know, homes, universities, schools. I don't even think he knows. He's stunned that the Palestinian could not go back home. Where? Home where? They even killed him inside the tents. They murdered him, massacred him, whether inside tents. The Israeli is a fucking evil entity. These people are Nazis, man. I'm going to say it again and again. I have never seen an evil entity does such criminal against the civilian. If they can't beat the Palestinian resistance, they take it on their family and on the Palestinian civilians.
All that and more would begin immediately. Immediately. During the 6 weeks of phase one, Israel and Hamas would negotiate the necessary arrangements to get to phase two.
All right.
Which is a permanent end to hostilities. Now, I'll be straight with you. There are a number of details to negotiate to move from phase one to phase two.
All right.
Israel will want to make sure its interests are protected. But the proposal says if the negotiations take longer than 6 weeks for phase one, the ceasefire will still continue as long as negotiations continue. In the United States, Egypt, and Qatar would work to ensure negotiations keep going. All agreements, until all the agreements are reached and phase two is able to begin. Then phase two, there'd be an exchange for the release of all remaining living hostages, including male soldiers. Israeli forces would withdraw from Gaza, and as long as Hamas lives up to its commitments, a temporary ceasefire would become, in the words of the Israeli proposal, the cessation of hostilities permanently. End of quote. Cessation of hostilities permanently. Finally, in phase three, a major reconstruction plan for Gaza would commence, and any final remains of hostages who've been killed would be returned to their families. That's the offer that's now on the table.
All right. Thank you, Joe. I'm going to bet you none of that's going to happen because you have no say. We don't have no say. The United States has nothing to say. We cannot use our leverage of giving $26 billion to Israel or the weapons that we give them. All this phase is all lies. The whole idea is there is no North Gaza left. When the president of the United States is saying all Palestinians could go back home, does he know there is no more homes to go back to? That there was a deliberate bulldozing of everything. They bulldozed cemeteries. I swear to God, 16 cemeteries were bulldozed, man. America is in danger, man. If these people control our politics in the United States, that Zionists I'm talking about, and our nuclear weapons, we're going to be blackmailed forever. Because what we saw that happen in Gaza, it is pure evil. In 7 months or 6 months span, we saw every war crime on the book. the International Court of Justice say don't do this, they do that. The United States say don't do this, they do that. Now, my question to Joe Biden is, if you could not bring in food from 6 crossing that goes into Gaza, from countries that we finance and fund and keep afloat, and we had to build a port, a temporary pier port that cost the American taxpayers $330 million and was sabotaged by the Israelis. Nobody want to say that. And all of a sudden, the ocean came and took it all away. All of a sudden, you're going to enforce a 3-phase ceasefire? Israel is not going to stop, because Israel's mission was to ethnically cleanse the Palestinian. That plan imploded because nobody wants to take refugees. If this happened 10 years ago, Europe will take them. But right now, Europe does not want refugees because Europe has its own problem with refugees and European nationalists who wants Europe for Europeans. They want to keep on taking the people. Why should Europe keep on taking people from other countries? Why should the United States? I'm an immigrant, but I came here legally. But I don't want to take no refugees and illegal aliens to the United States. You understand? So the whole idea is Joe Biden has no power. Our Congress is inviting Netanyahu to give a joint speech of both the Senate and Congress. This is shameful. A war criminal is invited to the United States Capitol to give a speech to the joint, I don't know how the fucking word, the joint congressional, I don't know, meeting, whatever the fuck it is. All 535 American senators and congressional members will meet and listen to a former president who is wanted for war crime, and there could be an arrest warrant for him any moment to give a speech in the United States, a country that we say it's about freedom, it's about protecting the weak, the minority, the small all over the world. It is considered a slap in the face of every American. Netanyahu should have no right to give any speech any place in the United States. Case closed. Let's go to, okay. Remember, I've been talking to you a lot, right? About anti-Semitism, right? And how anti-Semitism in the United States has become a multi-billion-dollar business that is led by the American Defamation, League or whatever the fuck, the ADL. Now, this organization has become sort of an economic terrorist against companies, individuals, anybody who expresses anything or says anything sometime on Twitter. They are forced to pay millions of dollars, visit the Holocaust Museum, go to Auschwitz. Now, I have no issue going to the museum. It's okay. Going to Auschwitz is okay. But why are you giving this organization millions and millions of dollars? You understand? This is the fucking, this is the terrorist, the ADL terrorist. Here he is, right here. Let me show you who he is. So you know what I'm talking about here. This is him on MSNBC. He's complaining. We gotta get rid of this. We gotta get rid of that. Where are you? Let's see. Here you go. Listen to him.
But we need to talk about TikTok. TikTok, if you will, it is the 24/7 news channel of so many of our young people, and it's like Al Jazeera on steroids, amplifying and intensifying the anti-Semitism and the anti-Zionism with no repercussion. But we need to talk about TikTok. TikTok, if you will, it is the 24/7 news channel of so many of our young people, and it's like Al Jazeera on steroids, amplifying.
So you know why he said that, right? Because they don't control TikTok. TikTok busted the Israeli lies. TikTok did more damage to Israel than the Palestinian resistance. TikTok educated the vast majority of Americans in the Midwest, in the South, in the cities, in the suburbs, and they showed this lie that is told by legacy media that is beholden to the Zios and their agenda in Palestine. If you go to TikTok, it's not like Facebook, or even like, it's not even like Twitter. You see a lot of people talking about the Palestinian cause. They are wearing the kufi, the thing. That's why they want to get rid of Twitter. I'm telling you, there is no such thing as anti-Semitism. There is anti-Semitism. There is anti-Arab. There's anti-white. There's anti-black. I'm sure somebody, hey, Whitey, go home. Hey, Whitey, go home. That's considered anti-white, isn't it? Hey, honky, get out of here. Isn't that anti-white? I showed you yesterday in 2022, there was only 111 registered assault against what they registered as anti-Semitism assaults against Jews. Could have been a fight over a bus fare or a bus seat. It could have been an argument over an unpaid bill. It could have been really some asshole, who hates Jews, whatever, try to assault them. But if I compared it to Arabs, if I really believe that CARE, our organization that is like ADL, I'll run out of here. Blacks, whites, Hispanics. But the problem is we have a special class of a minority. Now that minority has overwhelming power over the United States media, government, economy, social issues. It's unbelievable. Now, they could say, well, Omar, you're being an anti-Semite for saying that. No, I'm not. If our friends here who are the Jewish American community is 2.2% of the population. But when you look at the government and the State Department and the Pentagon and TV, they are overwhelmingly represented. Imagine if all the Arabs, you guys will fucking run out of America. Like, what the fuck? Now, that can cause resentment. And when Americans see AIPAC, a domestic lobbying group that refused to register as an Israeli foreign lobbying group, but as long as it registered as an American lobbying group, AIPAC is a Jewish lobbying entity. It's not an Israeli that spends $100 million every year to unseat people that they deem anti-Israeli or they do not agree with. For example, in New York, they have spent $2 million a week on a primary against a guy named Jamal Bowman. Jamal Bowman is an African-American or Black American from New York who happens to be more progressive and actually had the bravery to condemn the Israeli genocide in Gaza and in Palestine, and he wants a fair shake for the Palestinians. AIPAC, the American Israeli Political Action Committee, whatever it is, the American Jewish lobby lobby for Israel is spending $2 million a week to defeat him in a primary. That's not even the election. In a primary here in New York. So the whole idea that Americans, when they see that, like, hey, wait a minute. If you don't believe me, go to an app called Track AIPAC. You will see almost, out of 100 senators, 97 of them get money from the American Jewish lobby group called AIPAC. That is solely its purpose is to defeat anybody that they deem anti-Israel or pro-Palestinian. That's why the Palestinians, they've been getting fucking beat up for 76 years. They had no voice until TikTok came, and by the time they realized it, they could not stop it because the cat was out of the bag, and America saw with their own eyes that evil, the policies, the massacres, the ethnic cleansing, the stolen of homes, the killing of children, the beheading of real Palestinian children, not the lie they said on October 7th. Now, I'm about to show you a video. The reason I'm going to show you this video It's about two comedians. You probably know Ari Schaefer. Ari Schaefer is a Jewish American comedian who's more mainstream. And you have Howie Mandel. Howie Mandel, you know Howie Mandel from the Deal or No Deal, or from Saying Elsewhere. You know, he's a famous comedian, but he has a germicide. But I want to show you the mindset how the ADL even scares Jewish American that there is anti-Semitism all over the place and they have to run or do something. One time, I'm going to honestly tell you, I read a book in 1950. A leader of the Zionist organization was told, 1945, why aren't you helping the Jews in Poland? He said, one cow, a Jewish cow in Jerusalem is worth to me more than 10 Jews in Poland. Now let's watch this. How the fear mongering of the ADL of creating this environment. There is anti-Semitism, and you watch. I was watching CNN. He said it's horrendous. When he said, I said horrendous. Let me go look. Well, I said it's nothing. Hey, let's watch the.
Every 20 minutes, I can't believe everything's going to shit. They're just aware of it suddenly. The small.
I want you to watch this. It's a small segment.
Speaking of culture, you know, like we were just saying, there were 3 Jews sitting here. Have you felt the? Are you feeling
What the fucking? We're back in
the love,
dude. We're back. Center.
You're feeling the love. You know that we're too Jewish. You're feeling the love. Howie Mandel doesn't leave the house. He doesn't leave his home. He's a germicidal person. He hates germs. But I want to show you how they have scared him and how they have lied to him. And look at the different thinking.
Pretension again. I love it.
Really?
Oh yeah. We were a joke before. Now we're taken seriously. Who else wants some? Who else wants some?
You seeing the positive in this?
Yeah, dude. We're fucking.
He likes attention.
Yeah, we're back. Before we were just some like joke, like I remember the tribe, like little light things. Now people take us seriously.
Seriously?
Go ahead, keep pushing the students. See when we push back.
It's horrible.
It's not horrible. It doesn't happen. It's statistically irrelevant. It should be on the news too much. None of it's really happening.
Are you fucking
I've been all
kidding
over the
me?
country. I've seen no actual anti.
Now, Artie Schaefer, the guy with the beard, he's a stand-up comic. He goes all over the country every day, every state. He knows there's nothing happening. There's no anti-Semitism. There's no anti-Jewish violence. Nobody hates anybody. But the ADL will have you watching TV 24 hours that Jews are being attacked. Anti-Semitism is on the rise. It's horrendous. What are we going to do? Where is the mayor? Where is the police department? Things are getting out of control. They're scaring people. Look at Howie Mandel, how scary he is, because he doesn't leave the house, while the other comedian who's Jewish, Ari Schaefer, he's traveling the country. He said everything is fine. Don't believe what the fucking TV is saying. There's nothing there. I haven't seen anything. Look.
Antisemitism. Have you? You look Jewish. You walked around, people yelled Jew at you or something?
I don't go out.
Yeah, good point.
I don't go out.
I yelled Jew at him this morning.
Yeah.
No.
did.
I think it's real.
No one
I think
I
we
know
got to
is-
take it seriously. I think what you're saying is wrong.
No, it's being on the news. Are you familiar with the what's that app that tells you all the robberies in your neighborhood?
Citizen
app.
Yeah.
So before this app, everybody was having a great time in their neighborhood. And then suddenly all these housewives are like, there's a robbery every 20 minutes. I can't believe everything's going to shit. They're just aware of it suddenly, the small percentages. It's a little bit in colleges you don't go to. It's not there. It's statistically irrelevant. I go all over the country. I've never seen any anti-Semitism.
Are you on a college campus?
No, I'm not.
Go over to USC today.
I'm not.
You see how stupid he is? Now, let me break that. USC had a student encampment. The people who were attacked, they were attacked by Jewish or Zionist, pro-Zionist group that attacked the students for no reason. And this fucking asshole, he believes everything he reads. Howie Mandel, he's like, did you see USC what happened? Did you see that? Those kids got beat up by a group that was funded by Jerry Seinfeld's wife. You know, Jerry Seinfeld from the Seinfeld show, who said all of a sudden that when people are not walking out of his show because he's Jewish, all of a sudden, after 30 years, we found out he's Jewish. We've been watching his show for these years, and we never knew. Oh, my God. Okay, let's listen to this. Now, remember, the guy, he never leaves his house. He's a germicidal individual. He's scared of germs. He only leaves if he has to.
On a college campus. Nobody I know is.
Students are.
They're just dumb.
No, you're wrong. Oh, you're really wrong.
Yeah, you're really wrong.
You're really wrong.
Yeah.
Bro, if you shut the laptop, you'll never see it. You'll never know it exists.
Oh, I believe that you can hide from it. I believe that you can be
Out in the world, never seeing a single thing. It's just a Citizen app. It's just another Citizen app thing. They're just pushing this thing, and all the Arabs feel attacked, and all the blacks feel attacked, and all the Asians feel attacked.
So there's no anti-Semitism. There's no racism.
It's statistically irrelevant. It's like getting a set over a set. It doesn't.
Now, you see a cool-minded individual who travels the country every day, like Ari Sheffer here, who's in the photo. He's telling you there's nothing there. If you shut off your TV or your computer, there's nothing there. You know, everybody feels the Arabs are feeling they're being attacked. The blacks are feeling they're being attacked. The Jews. This is scaremongering. This is an industry. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry where you put fear in people's heart. You're being attacked. Everybody hates you. Oh my gosh, what are you gonna do? Give us some money so we can protect you. It's all about money at the end of the day. The ADL is nothing but the ADL and anti-Semitism is nothing but a multi-billion-dollar business.
It's not something that's even. It's less than 0.1%. It's you.
We're less than 1.1% of the population.
I
Jews.
thought we're 2. No.
Yeah, we are. We are 2%.
Yeah,
But I think that
it's not. It's
we're
just,
hated.
Sure, by some, I guess, deep in the where they don't see us.
Do you still have friends in Israel? That's a no. If you have to
maybe.
think that long,
Maybe.
Yeah,
You
my
don't-
rabbi still lives there.
do you talk to him?
Mind you, Ari grew up in Israel. He grew up as a young man in Israel. He used to be religious, and he became a comedian, and he threw all that shit in the garbage. You understand? The Howie has never left California. But all of a sudden, he knows, he sees anti-Semitism in colleges in Israel. All of a sudden, he knows about everything because he watches TV. My advice to anybody who hears my voice, don't watch corporate media. Don't watch any media on cable news. Even don't read this fucking newspapers. They're all liars. They all have agendas. They have people who give them money to carry a certain narrative in our society.
I haven't in a bit, no. But you know
I would imagine how he would feel if you said that in front of him.
what? There's no anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
My sisters are Orthodox Jews. They're like, it's everywhere. I'm like, I'm not seeing it. They're like, do you see this anti-Semitism? I'm like, no. I saw some comic get like banned out of a club, and people are like, have you never seen this before? I'm like, that club's banned people in the past for not that. It's not that. They just don't want complaints. Everyone's reading in like
I love Ari, man.
everyone's trying to look for it. It's just so lame. Everyone's trying to look for they've been victimized more than anybody. It's like, shut up.
Do you
it's
feel
fine.
like that's what
You don't
this
think we
is right
have?
now?
Are you a Holocaust denier?
It's been a while. Yeah, the Holocaust is real, but like walking around, it's like, what are we talking about? Same thing that the Palestinians say, like, every day's a fucking genocide for us. Like, all right, guys, everybody with these fucking platitudes. Relax, shut up. It's a fucking Jewish guy and a Palestinian guy in front of a cop station in New York fighting and getting arrested. And none of you are making an actual difference. You're just doing your dumb rallies.
Well, I don't know that the rallies are making a
It
difference.
doesn't make any difference. It's just riling people up. It's just like, who's on a college campus that you know? How many of your subscribers are on college campuses? It's like, not many. It's just, you shut the laptop, go outside. It's a beautiful day.
Educated people are not interested in
And Howie Mandel says, in smelly belly buttons.
in Ari Shafir's
Yeah.
shit-filled belly button.
But I mean, like, is the stuff actually out there? Like, no, it's just the Citizen. It's a version of the Citizen app online. People are looking for like, it's terrible right now. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. My friends from England was like, they can arrest you now if you say the wrong thing, if you attack the government. I'm like, has that happened though? Has anyone been arrested in comedy? They're like, well, no. I'm like, well, then what are you talking about? You can get arrested. You can get arrested for jaywalking in New York. It doesn't happen. It's not a real thing.
Right. But that you're using an extreme to compare it to what is the reality. And the reality is,
See, the whole idea of American Jews, of Jews all over the United world, I mean, they have been taught to be victims. They are the ultimate victim. I am the victim. I am the victim. I'm always the victim. People hate me for what I am. Why do you hate me? They have been taught this lie that there is hate. I mean, you have hate in everything. I don't hate anybody. I don't have any issues. I have issues with the Zionists in Israel. I think they're fucking criminals. But I watch Howie Mandel on America Got Talent. I watched him when he had Deal No Deal. When I was a young kid, when he was on St. Elsewhere playing a doctor, whatever he was, I had to say, well, this guy is Jewish. I don't want to watch him no more. No. The whole idea is they have been conditioned to be victims. I am the victim. Yes, the Holocaust happened. I don't know. I was not around. I don't know how many billions and millions of people. Russia say they lost 20 million, which I question. I mean, what the fuck were they, ants? So the whole idea is that something did happen in World War II. There was a lot of murder. There was a lot of hunger and starvation. You know how war is. But the Jewish person has been taught since childhood that he's the victim. Even if he's victimizing you, he still is the victim. You see how Howie Mandel is in this segment? He's the victim. He doesn't leave the house, and he's famous. He's a multi-million-dollar man. He has millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. He's not a poor guy. And the guy who goes to clubs to tell comedy say, yeah, I think you're overreacting here. I travel all over the country. I mean, everybody's saying, I don't see anything. I haven't seen nothing there. I mean, I'm the one who is in the streets. I'm the one who should be able to say, well, there's something out there how you should not leave the house. This is how it works. I am the victim. And it's a shame that they have conditioned Jews to be the ultimate victim. They are not. They are a very successful minority. They are doctors, lawyers, government. They are engineers. I mean, they are part of our infrastructure in the United States. I mean, there's nothing wrong here. But when you're always claiming to be a victim, you're always classifying yourself like what happened in Congress. Congress passes a law against anti-Semitism, but doesn't name what the anti-Semitism is. You know why, right? Because I'm a Semite. If they pass the law, I'm the first one to take advantage of it. Legally, I am a Semite because I'm from the Middle East. Most of those European Jews are not Semites because they're from Eastern Europe. So they said, well, we're going to let the Holocaust, International Holocaust Association write the bill. That's what happened when you take yourself from the group, the whole population, and you put yourself in a category where you need special protection, like you are an endangered species. You put yourself around with the LGBT community. Now you have why would the Jews wants to be sidelined and named as a special group to be protected while it's been assimilated into our American way of life? You understand the danger of that shit they do? But it's a multi-billion-dollar industry because that bald-headed motherfucker called, what's his name, Jonathan Gumblad, whatever his name is, he has to make money. And fear makes money.
Anti-Semitism is alive and well, is growing, is warming up, is sending us on a path to...
Yeah, it's another Holocaust.
1930,
Sure. And fucking George Bush was fucking just like Hitler, and Trump was just like Hitler. It's just like I've heard these things so many times. It's like, oh, right, already. It's not happening.
Is it more maddening that people ask you about this because you're Jewish? Because of who you are?
Oh, constantly. I'm like, you must see this. You got to weigh in on this. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
I don't put myself into like horrible places.
Are people expecting you to
weigh in? Oh my God, yeah. And I'm like, you guys don't want my response. I'm going to make light of it. I'm gonna make light of it. The whole thing. That's
You're
what
gonna
I do.
make light of it?
Yeah.
Because you're a comedian.
Because I think you shouldn't get, and that's my stance, is you shouldn't get involved in all this negative shit. So I'm gonna make light of it.
Is that a defense?
No, it's what I do. I make jokes. I make light. We make light out of horrible things.
Well,
we get joy coming, from AIDS and the Holocaust and rape and fucking. Let's get some joy out of this. School shootings. I can get you laughing at this. It's a fun thing. So yeah, right after October 7th, I had a clip came out. It was like 3 days later. It was on a Sunday, and it was like, people want me to weigh in on this, the massacre on Sunday, and it's just like, yeah, I'll be honest with you, it's like Dak Prescott's not the guy. Yeah, that was 40-7 against the Cowboys, and it was fucking terrible, and we got to get a new quarterback. It's horrific. these massacres are going to keep happening until they get a new fucking defense coordinator and it's just like me going like, guys, I'm not going to do this. That's my statement. You know, it's dumb. It's dumb. There's war everywhere. Why do we choose
that.
which ones we're going to fucking feel?
I get. I get
See,
in that.
see how he needs to be validated. He wants to validate the idea there is anti-Semitism. It's on the rise. It's all over. It's rearing its ugly head again. And there's nothing. I showed you in 2023, 146 Jews were assaulted, and not Jews. According to the ADL, 146 American Jews were assaulted because they were Jewish. Now, we don't know how many people had to fight for other reasons, and 146 people is not a lot in a country of almost 350 million people. But he wants to believe it because he's been conditioned since he was a kid that he is the victim, that people hate him.
That I get what you're saying. So your job, our job, our life is to entertain, to deflect, to what do I? How do I survive? What do I talk about? Distract.
Yeah,
I get that, but and it's not for Howie Mandel, Ari Shafir, and Howie's daughter to kind of get deep about what's happening. But I got to tell you that as a Jew, it is a little scary. And I can't believe that you as a Jew, I don't believe you, that you can keep it out of mind. I would imagine as...
Why? Why don't you believe his reality that he's telling you? Why does he have to feel
you
the
have
same
no
way?
thought if you land in butt-fuck world, wherever you are.
Like Iran or something, or Afghanistan?
Yeah.
No, but that's always like travel advisories are like, is it safe for Americans? And then is it safe for Jews?
Right.
Yeah, that's in certain areas, for sure. Where you got to like worry about that a little more, but London is not one of those places. You can just walk right past the rallies. It doesn't really matter. No one's gonna break into your fucking hotel room and try to kill you for being Jewish. Yeah, in Iran, I'm like, what? How bad are they right now? By the way, Iran, not bad for Jews. They just don't like Zionism. They're actually great for Jews.
Great for Jews?
Yeah, they love Jews. They have a long history of Jewish culture there.
You see the misinformation? You always say Iran wants to kill all the Jews. There's Jews in Iran. They don't like the Zionist scumbags, the Zionist criminals, the colonial son of a bitches. But there's a Jewish community in Iran. Nobody has an issue with Jews in the Middle East. The issue they have is with the Netanyahus, the other idiots who came from Poland and Lithuania and Russia, and all of a sudden they killing Palestine and told them you don't belong here. You know, one time Netanyahu said he came back to his apartment. Fucking guy, his name is not even Netanyahu. His name is Malunsky or Malunsky. Even their names are
They
fake.
just don't like Zionism.
Okay.
So it's not really a problem to go to Iran. Even that.
Have you been?
No, but you know, I've traveled with friends. But like, yeah, I mean, sure, there's those places, Middle East, sure, but like,
You don't think there's places in America that you'd be concerned?
No, I don't think about it. It's not.
You don't have to think about it. Your face
I mean, this
says
one,
it.
I have family. Yeah, exactly. So I would have seen it then. So I go out, I travel all the time for work. I'm all over this country. My face is, hey, there's a Jew. You think I would have heard one thing in real life? I'm telling you, I'm out there testing it. It's not there. It's just online. You just got to shut that laptop and walk outside. Everything's pretty fucking great.
You got to shut that
It's so hard to be a white guy right now. No, it's not. It's fucking great. Oh, it's so hard to be everywhere I go. Black people want to get killed by cops. No, that's not true. Almost nobody gets actually that happen. It's just like everyone's online getting riled up. The world is great.
Wow.
Yeah. I have a black friend who was convinced after George Floyd and after the media was talking about this, he goes, every white guy wants me dead. And then he was out fishing in Pennsylvania and some old white guy was fishing in a boat and he starts rowing over. He goes, oh, fuck, here we go. My friend Nate Marshall. And he goes, fuck, what's this going to be? And the guy comes over, he's like, can I talk to you boys for a second? And he goes, yeah, what? He goes, you're casting your line way wrong. You got to like at the top of your, I don't know what he said. At the top,
American love America.
Show me. He goes, all right, good luck with this. Got a good spot right here. And then he just like faced himself and he was like, oh, fuck, I've been lied to. My reality is not real. It's not, it's just based on this fucking everybody getting riled up.
But changing your thought because of one or 30
like
interactions?
Yeah, it's just like everywhere I go, I've not seen it. I've not seen it.
Do you not think there's racism?
Yeah, it's sure, but it's not as great as you're making it out, as people are making it out.
Yeah.
It's just not there on the level they're saying it is. So sure, there's some racism for sure.
I've been here all my life. I have never faced outright racism. Nobody has said something because you're an Arab, I don't like you. Never. I have dealt in business with Jews, whites, blacks, Hispanics, all people of all walking in the United States. I have traveled to Florida, to Alabama, to Tennessee, to Indiana, all over the world, the United States. I have never heard somebody tell me, I don't like you. Not by a white person, not by a black person. This is all fear mongering. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry led by the ADL. Did you know the ADL in 1990 was raided by the FBI because they were spying on 600 different Americans and organizations in the United States? Instead of defending the defamation of Jews, they were actually defaming other people in the United States. They were spying on Palestinian professors, Arab organizations, everything. You understand? So the ADL has been fucking. You know how the ADL was founded? It was founded on the premises. There's a guy named Leo Frank in 1932. Leo Frank, who was a Jew, in 1913 owned a factory, I don't know, in the South someplace. And he raped a young white girl and killed her. And what he did is, it was so vile, he tried to blame it on the janitor who was black. So what happened is, they did an investigation. They saw that he was lying. The black janitor had nothing to do with it. They did a trial. And I don't know, I read someplace that instead of getting execution, he got life in prison because a lot of people paid from outside not to get him executed. And then a lawless people went in, broke into the jail, they took him out and lynched him. That's wrong. You understand? But then this organization was born. It was called the Betty Birth, whatever. It had a different name at that time. So this organization was born out of bastardism. It was born out under conflict of rape and murder of a child. Now this organization has been terrorizing movie stars, movie studios, American companies like Apple, AT&T, Elon Musk. They scared Elon Musk because they would not let people advertise on Twitter that he had to travel, wear the hat, he had to bend the knee and kiss a lot of asses. And Ben Shapiro took him on a fucking embarrassing tour for a fucking multi-billion-dollar man. For a lie, there is no thing. Sure. All right, that was good. Okay, so hey, how are you? I didn't know you were here. I'm sorry. My friend is here. Let me get on the. You there? How are you? Who's this? This is not. Hey, John Wayne, what's up, man? Yeah, did he? Did he rob the kid? Yeah, that's right. He knows that. Oh, what's up, man? Welcome to the channel. I hope you follow and come spend some time with me, man. Yo, what's up, man? It's true. I mean, a lot of people don't know that the ADL in the 1990s was spying on Americans. An organization that was created to protect the minority from defamation or from violence is actually turned into a spying agency in the United States. And it was spying on 600 different, look it up, just Google, man. If you have Google, just Google. You don't need me. You don't need nobody to teach you. You know why I don't like the ADL? Because the ADL is almost like an economic terrorist. Give me the money. If not, we're going to make things worse for you. Like what they did to the, what's that? Conway, was it Kanye or whatever his name is? Yay. He lost $1.5 billion in one day. The guy, he's sick. He has mental issue. He didn't take his medication. They could shut the fuck up until the kid gets over his issues. Instead of they cost him a lot of everything. That was it. And what we learned from this kind of surprise to see Uh, yeah, you see Adi. Oh, you know Adi who is. Right? Adi is a comedian. I just saw his special. His special got 7 million views. All the candles behind her. But Adi is the one who's traveling the country. He knows he's traveling all the comedy clubs. So if there is anti-Semitism, he will know it because he's a Jew and he will feel it. He said, "I haven't seen anything." While Howie Mandel, who is in Los Angeles, California, a multi-million-dollar rich man who doesn't leave the house because he's afraid of germs, um, he's afraid because he watches TV. If you don't watch more, I'm been sober now 10 months. I've been sober from corporate media. I used to watch MSNBC for 10 years straight. And I feel I lost a lot of time of my life. They had me fearing Trump, or the Russians, the shit, until I found out they're liars and they have an agenda. When the Gaza war happened, I saw that they were not telling the truth because I am an Arab American. I know what's going on and I know the truth. And when I watch the news, I don't see anything. Yeah, he doesn't leave the house. He doesn't leave, John, Wayne. He doesn't leave the house, and all of a sudden he's an expert on. You don't notice it? You didn't see those kids at the USC, the University of Southern California? Those kids got beat up by the Zionist kids. The Jewish kids beat up those kids. They threw firecrackers. They hit them with sticks. They hit them with, and he doesn't know that. And he's in love. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the problem in our country. The victim, when people tell you you're a victim, you start to believe it. I don't believe that. I'm a member of a small minority. I'm an Arab American Muslim. There's a lot of time problems, but I don't consider myself a victim of anything. Even if somebody says something stupid, I do not condemn the whole group of people because an idiot said something. Yeah, the ADL. See, let me show you this video about the ADL. Remember? I don't know if you was in here watching it, but I saved it. This is the ADL on Morning Joe. Look at this. This is the fucking terrorist, right? His name. Yeah.
But we need to talk about TikTok. TikTok, if you will, it is the 24/7 news channel of so many of our young people, and it's like Al Jazeera on steroids, amplifying and intensifying the anti-Semitism and the anti-Zionism with no repercussion. But we need to talk about TikTok. TikTok, if you will, it is the 24/7 news channel of so many of our young people, and it's like Al Jazeera on.
This is the fucking scumbag. He is the guy who creates all these issues and these problems. He's the one who lies to the Jewish community that there is this fucking no. Yeah, that's why, because TikTok, they didn't control the algorithm. Now they did a little bit because they're trying to get rid of it because they pass a law. More censorship. This is the problem we have. If you don't say what we like, and if you don't follow the program, then you are spying on Americans. While actually the ADL did spy. I don't want to Google it up right now because I have another segment to go before I go. Let's go to the next segment for this one. Okay.
Promise and underdeliver.
Okay, wait.
I think.
Okay. Let me fix this. All right.
Unique in the political.
Okay, this was a 2-hour interview by Patrick Ben David. He owns. He's like this rich guy from the Middle East. He's a Syrian. He lived in Iran and he came to the United States. He started, it was a Ponzi really, and he became a $100 million rich man all of a sudden. So he has a guest. This guy is the leader. What's that? You don't have it, guys. You guys are the monsters. The whites are the monsters. Ah! Run away from the whites, the white people. Listen, America, I'm going to say it right now. I'm not going to say it. America is a majority white Christian country. whether you like it or not. And it should remain this way because these people founded this country and they created this country out of thin air. And it is a privilege for a person like me to come to this country and have the opportunity to make a living and feel safe and become an equal citizen to a person whose family war since the Revolutionary War. This is the problem we have. Yeah, the issue here is we need, see, this is fear mongering. We need monsters. You always need a monster to scare people. Even white people, they scare them with, oh, we're going to be, nothing's going to happen. All they have to do is, you got to make sure that the Congress do their job and close the border. That's all. Very simple. Don't let a lot of people come in. 7 million people came in 7 months. That's a lot of fucking people. All illegal aliens run around the country. We don't know who they are after a while, where they are. It doesn't make any sense. And this is coming from an immigrant. Me as an immigrant, I don't like illegal immigrants. Because when my father came and my grandfather came, we came the right way. And we enjoy it. Now, let's listen. Now, what happened, Patrick Ben David, he had a guest. This guy is the head of the Patriot, the Patriot movement. It's like, they call it, it's a white nationalist movement. You know, those guys who are arrested in the trucks, in the U-Haul trucks. And everybody say they're feds, they're feds. Every time I see people, oh, don't believe in these guys, they're feds. So he invited the leader. I don't know, I think his name is Tom or something. It's a long interview. If you want to watch it, it's on PBD podcast. But this is a small segment I got because I wanted to make a point out of this guy he's even using fear-mongering himself. There we go. He's a very intelligent guy, man.
Constituents in America, people who think like I do, are too easily brought in behind politicians who may overpromise and underdeliver. I think Trump is very unique in the political space. I think he has done a lot for the conservative movement. You see things being the norm in conservative politics.
That's right. I'm pro-white, John Wayne. I'm pro-white. I'm pro-human being, man. I'm pro-American. I'm pro-American. That's it. Very simple. I'm not here to be a victim I'm a victim. No, I'm not.
Politics that under Mitt Romney and Newt Gingrich would have been unthinkable. So I think there is a value to that. I think the landscape has opened up. But I don't personally support Trump. I think Trump has to do more.
Such as what? Like, what does he need to do?
I think his support for Israel is one thing in particular, and perhaps his favor of those Zionist politics is one of the biggest things that are perhaps holding Trump back from a true America First policy.
So you're not for him supporting the Zionists and Israel. You don't like that.
I am not in favor of it.
Why are you uncomfortable with that?
I believe not only is the wars in the Middle East, often involving Israel, either directly or indirectly, are a huge drain of resources, of diplomatic credibility. I mean, how many countries in the world hate the United States because we have chosen Israel as an ally over however many dozens of countries despise us for our role in that. But it is a drain of blood. It's a drain of resources. It's a drain of money. It's a drain of diplomatic credibility. And
now listen to this. The white nationalists, the so-called white nationalists, is making more sense than the mainstream. He's saying that we need to be a pro-American country. We don't need to waste our money and our treasure and our men on Israel. So the so-called white nationalists who's supposed to be scary and the monster is making a lot of sense. If you look at the whole interview, some of the stuff I don't agree with him. Some I disagree and agree with him on some stuff, but he's making a lot of sense for me because the Israeli issue is close to my heart of what happened in Gaza.
Culturally, Americans have very little in common with, I think, a lot of the people that live in Israel. Yeah. Perhaps not much more than we would have in common with the people who live in other countries.
Unpack that. What do you mean by that? The word we disagree with a lot of people in Israel.
Americans are not culturally similar to Israelis any more than we would be culturally similar to Iranians, especially, in the country where you grew up. I know Iran has changed very drastically, but I don't think we have a whole lot. There's no reason that Israel needs to be this ally, which we are willing to sacrifice our place on the global stage for, which we're willing to wage trillion-dollar wars to destabilize their neighbors. There's no reason except for the fact that there's so many Zionists in the American government, in lobbying groups like AIPAC, and they brag about their influence. They brag about being able to buy politicians. And you look up politicians that say pro-Israel things, that they defend Israel invading these cities in Gaza, and you look at how much money they've received from AIPAC and groups like that, and it's a lot. But I don't think we should support these other groups in the Middle East. I think the United States should be hands off the Middle East, because I think a lot of these countries, a lot of these groups were having conflicts and border conflicts and ethnic conflicts and religious conflicts long before the United States ever showed up, and they'll be having them after we leave.
Do you think the world's a better place without Israel existing?
I don't know. I think.
So this is the kiss up right now. Dave, the other guy, the PBD guy, the guy with the suit, he wants to kiss up to Israel because he knows his money is tied to being a good boy. You don't want to get the ADL on yourself or get in trouble. So he keeps on questioning him and questioning him. You understand?
The existence of Israel is something that needs to be decided by the Middle East and not the United States.
Like saying it's their problem. See?
So, okay, are you a Christian?
I am not personally religious, although I do deeply respect and appreciate the role that Christianity has played in shaping the culture of America.
Now, I'm going to tell you why he's not a Christian, why he doesn't say he's a Christian. I'm going to be honest with you. Because as a right movement that believes that that America is ethnically white, if he says he's a Christian, then they're going to tell him, well, how about the blacks? They're Christians. How about the Hispanics? They're Christians. So they want to avoid that. That's why most of the time, to be honest, they never tell you that they are Christians. Only Nick Fuentes, he likes Catholicism.
What do you believe in?
I believe there's something. I believe there is greater power. There is something in nature or something in the creation of the world and the universe.
Who do you think Jesus was?
I think Jesus was an immensely important historical figure. I believe he was real. I believe he was present, and I believe he defined, millennia that have followed with his words and with his actions and with the.
Do you see him as the greatest carpenter of all time? Is that kind of how you view him? Or
I think Christ exemplified a lot of the moral teachings that I believe have greatly influenced. I mean, he's called the Son of God. And billions of people believe that. So,
yeah. So would you say you're an atheist, agnostic, more agnostic?
I've never delved really into picking or choosing a label, but I deeply respect the role that Christianity has played.
So let's just say I'm Assyrian. Okay.
Very good.
And as most of the Assyrian land was today's Iraq. Okay. And a lot of the places, historical places of Assyrians, Alamas and some of these places that we had.
I don't even know if that's true. I'm going to check it out. Assyrians and America, dead societies that died out, has nothing to do with anybody else. They just died out.
They've been destroyed.
Yes.
By people in Iraq, absolutely destroying well-known churches, well-known buildings to get rid of the history.
I'm against historical erasure.
Okay. But also, if you say you're against it, but what does that really mean? Because, some people may say, well, the reason why Israel is necessary, because that's Jerusalem. So what if we let it loose and you let the Middle East handle it and they go in and they destroy the city?
All right. This is what I come in. This dumb fucking idiot. Israel is only 76 years old. So how come the Middle East, the Arabs and Muslims did not destroy the churches for the last 1,500 years? I'm going to stop this video. I'm going to show you something that is very, very educational. The Church of Jesus, the keys are traditionally held by Muslims because the Christians could not get along. Here.
Holy Sepulchre.
Okay, wait, yeah.
This is the site.
Wait.
Holy Week dawns in Jerusalem. The tension of the old city has melted away. Abed Judah makes his way through the narrow alleys.
This is an Arabic family that's been for centuries.
The obligation of centuries.
Good morning, Andre.
His ancestors have held this job. Now it is his turn. He's entrusted with the key to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. This is the site where the Bible says Jesus Christ was crucified. It is one of the holiest sites in Christianity. And its key belongs to a Muslim family, a neutral guardian for a site sacred to so many Christian denominations. Judah shows us the family cupboard. Inside is a Quran and a Bible. He considers the church a second home. The contracts for the guardian of the key date back hundreds of years. He shows us the oldest contract in his home. It was written in 1517. This is the family heritage, he says. It's all we own as a family. And this is not only an honor for our family, this is an honor for all Muslims in the world. He has pictures of his great-grandfather who cared for the key at the turn of the last century. In this family, that's recent history.
This is the key to one of the holiest places in Christianity.
You see what's going on. I'm going to go back to the video of Patrick Ben David. Ben David said that if Israel is destroyed, they're going to destroy Jerusalem. The key to the Church of Jesus Christ is in the hands of a Muslim family for hundreds of years, maybe 700, 800 years, because the Christian sect were different. They were fighting over who should take over the church. So to stop the infighting between the Christian sects, like the Armenians, like the Orthodox, the Roman Catholic, they gave the key to a Muslim family. Every morning, this family opens the door for the church, let all the Christians go in, do whatever they want to do. Until nighttime, they close it. They are responsible for renovations, for everything. It shows you how close that Muslims and Christians are. And this idiot's going to say, well, they're going to destroy Jerusalem. Who's going to protect Jerusalem if Israel is not there?
Christianity. And every morning, this key opens the door. For 500 years.
For more than 850 years.
850 years.
He tells me what we pass to the next generation is not only the key, but also the way you respect other religions. At 4 in the morning on Holy Thursday, the Armenian Orthodox offer their prayers. Next it'll be the Franciscans, then the Greek Orthodox, and others. Judah protects the church key for all of them. It's a model of coexistence dating back centuries that can serve as a lesson of interfaith harmony even to this day. Oren Lieberman, CNN, Jerusalem.
Prevent that from happening.
I wouldn't be in favor of cities being destroyed generally.
You won't be able to control that because the reason why Israel is necessary because that's Jerusalem. So what if we let it loose and you let the Middle East handle it and they go in and they destroy the city? How do you prevent that from happening?
You see, I just showed you the video. The Muslims have been the guardian of the church of the sculptor, I don't know how to pronounce it, of Jesus for 850 years. Either Patrick Ben David, either he's ignorant. He got to be ignorant. I think he's the stupidest person I've ever seen. And he goes, what's going to happen? Well, I mean, Israel is only 75 years or 76 years old. So how come Jerusalem was never destroyed since the 6th century? I mean, huh? How come the churches are still there? How come the Church of Jesus is still there? And all of a sudden, if Israel goes, they're going to destroy the city? This is ignorance and arrogance. This is what you call ass kissing. They want to kick. Hold on. My arm is hurting me. Shit. Don't you hate that shit, huh? When your arm sleeps?
Wouldn't be in favor of cities being destroyed generally.
Well, you won't be able to control that because that's happened.
Does the United States need to guarantee every city in the world?
Jerusalem is a different city, though. There's a couple billion people worldwide that believe in this guy named Jesus, and they don't think he was just a carpenter. They think he was a.
I understand.
Right. So to them, they would like to keep that place.
When you spoke with Vivek Ramaswamy,
right,
he was talking about how I don't believe he thinks that the Israel should be in its place of preeminence that it is right now. But he was talking about how Israel had all the money and all the guns that frankly they needed to defend their own borders. Mm-hmm. But what they lacked most was diplomatic credibility. And that was not being used by them because I think there's a lot of people in Israel who are placing the conflict and their war goals over their diplomatic credibility on the world stage. And without the United States propping them up diplomatically, perhaps a lot of those politicians in Israel would have to make a lot of very difficult decisions, which would ultimately bring them back into a semblance, we can hope, of harmony. But that's a decision that has to be made by them.
But that's a different conversation, though.
Sure.
Those are two separate things we're talking about. I think.
I don't think that America exists to assure these places.
You don't think America exists to ensure these places. So,
yes.
Got it. So for you, whether they destroy Jerusalem or not, that's not in your top 100 list that matter to you.
Who will destroy Jerusalem? You see, he's an Islamophobe. He hates Muslims. Every time say the Muslims are having more babies than us. All of a sudden, he's an immigrant who came from Iran, who lived with his family for centuries, safe and sound within Muslim communities, no problem. He comes to the United States. Now he's worried about how many Muslims are having children. It's unbelievable how people will come and just import racism and fear. He doesn't need that. He's a man. He's $100 million. He was worth, I don't know, he says $300 million. I think he's less than that because rich people don't tell you how much they're worth. But the problem is he's saying, if Israel goes, who's going to protect Jerusalem? The question should be asked, who has protected Jerusalem for the last 1,400 years? I showed you that he's a fucking idiot. He's a fucking idiot, 100%.
I would say that I would think it would be a very bad thing. However,
you wouldn't lose sleep over it, though.
The United States, if we're talking about what we would do, I'm not in any position to write policy or dictate foreign policy, right? But the United States could act not as a arms dealer, but it could act in a more assertive tone as a peace broker. And I think that could avoid the type of cataclysmic scenario you're talking about.
What prompted you to be so uncomfortable or maybe against?
The so-called white nationalists is making more sense than the mainstream extremists. Unfucking believable.
Israel's existence, or the fact that's like, I think Trump being too supportive of that, I'm not with that. What prompted you at this age, 25 years old, to be so against that?
It's not so much Israel in the Middle East as much as it is Israel in the United States. I think the amount of people of Jewish faith and ancestry, and specifically of Zionist political leanings, is they're overrepresented in positions of power in the United States today.
Right.
And is that me saying that every single one of them is morally bad and guilty of some particular wrongdoing? No, absolutely not. But I think it is not wrong to say that these people, especially Zionists, people with these lobbying groups, are so vastly overrepresented in comparison to the amount of Jews in the Middle East or in the United States or anywhere, that we need to ask some serious questions as a country as to whether or not the influence of these, political careerists is in the best or the negative.
What he's saying is that there's too much influence in the Pentagon, in the State Department, in the White House of Jewish influence. I mean, we're going to say it out loud. You don't need to hide it. I mean, it's not anti-Semitism. I mean, the Secretary of State, Blinken, when he went to Israel after October 7th, he didn't say, I have come as the secretary. He said, I have come as a Jew. He holds a dual citizenship. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but before they used to get upset if you ask them. So what this guy is, whether you agree with him or not, he's saying, listen, he's more of America is me, not everybody. I mean, whether you agree with him or not, this is his views. But he's making more sense than the so-called white nationalists who are supposed to be the monster here, is making more sense than the reasonable zealot extremist who's interviewing him. Jerusalem will be destroyed. Oh my gosh, who's going to destroy Jerusalem? Jerusalem been fine since Jesus. Why all of a sudden if Israel goes, Jerusalem is going to be destroyed? Why? Why are they going to destroy? What are they going to destroy?
Interests of the United States, and if you ask me, I would say no.
I think that's a very valid. No, I don't think people would dispute that. I don't think that's the concern. There's a lot of people that are probably going to be on the same page with you there on whether America's first or not. It's not about I hope so. I think that's what the case is, because we would want it to be America first, and some of them are simply not. They're giving too much money to Ukraine, too much money to a lot of different places.
Here we go with Ukraine.
Valid concerns to have. I think for you. Okay, so at the beginning, I asked you, what things this organization was about. You're like,
all right, there we go. I think we finished. This guy's a fucking idiot. He invited him. This kid. He's 25 years old. He's a smart kid. He brought him in to try to portray him as a zealot, as a white nationalist to be feared, who leads the patriot or whatever they call it. And when you listen to the whole interview, sometimes that kid made more sense than the guy who's supposed to be interviewing him. The guy who was being interviewed, the extremist, was the more pragmatic, and the pragmatic was the most zealous, who put fear of the destruction of Jerusalem, or this and that. Oh my gosh. What I heard from that kid, if you listen to that whole interview, he's saying, listen, I believe in America for, you could agree or disagree with him. It doesn't matter. That's what he believes. Who gives a fuck? But he's saying that, just to put a ribbon on this whole podcast, what he's saying that our organization sees itself as American, and we are an ethnicity that comes only from Europe. Now, as a country, we could be Americans, and they could be American citizens. The American citizens will be like him, the Iranian guy who's into it, like me, like the Hispanics who comes. We could be American citizens. These guys get to claim the brand. They want to brand themselves as the Americans. It's okay. You could brand yourself all you want. I have no issue with that. I'm not a fearmonger. I have no issue with that. People have different opinion. Different people go and come back. At the end of the day, we are all American, and we should be all American, and we should love America for what it is. We should not involve ourselves in the industry of hate and anti-Semitism, all this bullshit, the ADL, all this multi-billion-dollar industry that fleeces company. Did you know the FBI get trained by the ADL? Did you know PayPal get trained by PayPal? All these organizations are under the command of the ADL. That's why a lot of people get the platform, and they can't get no money because all these organizations go. Anyway, I love you all. Had a good day. It's a good Sunday. Basketball is going to start Thursday for the for the championship. I got the Dallas Mavericks. I love you all. God bless you, and God bless the United States. Until I see you tomorrow, hopefully with God's will. Bye-bye.